another command called compile. What compile does is it takes the DBT templating language code and converts that into the SQL code, which can then be executed on Snowflake. Let's look at what that code looks like in templating language and then in compiled language, right? So let's look at one of these models. Now models is what we call a particular SQL snippet, which is used to materialize a table or a view. That's simply what a model is. If you notice this particular SQL statement, it is slightly different from SQL statement, right? It is making use of certain DBT functions, like a ref function here. What this ref function is doing is defining a dependency that this particular SQL model is dependent on certain underlying models, like this one over here. And where do I find this particular model? You can go inside the staging folder and then look at this particular model. So what this ref function is helping us do is it is creating those dependencies. And then you will notice that the staging model depends on a source model, which is specified in a source.yaml file. Yeah. So what's really happening here is we are creating this code in a modular, repeatable fashion. Once you define these dependencies, you can go ahead and execute the same thing in a different environment. It also creates a clean, clear, consistent dependencies. You can have documentation accordingly generated, yeah, and build this in a modular fashion. So once you click on compile and execute that, you will have a compiled SQL. Now you will see that this ref function gets replaced by an actual object name over here. Yeah. There is still another difference though. You don't see a create or table part here in this SQL statement. So in case of DBT models, everything is a select. You don't have any create, replace, etc. That gets created automatically when you run on a run button. When you execute the run, the SQL gets converted into a create table statement, and that runs on the Snowflake platform. That is when the data is pulled in, the tables are materialized from the raw stage to the marked stage and so on. Yeah, so that's what the run does. Then you have build, which combines multiple operations in a single DBT command, like the seed, snapshots, run, and so on. Once you build the model, you can also run tests on it. Tests let you create data tests to check the quality of data and see that the data is conforming to the rules we have defined. In this case, you will see a bunch of data tests specified in this source.yaml. You can see here unique, not null, and so on. There are a bunch of default tests available in DBT. You can also create additional tests and specify those to be run as part of your DBT pipelines. So these are some of the DBT operations that are available inside the Snowflake UI.